All right, Jen St. Dennis from Business Vancouver is with us. And Jen, we're talking about the status of women in the workforce in Canada.
Yeah, that's right. This report has come out from the status of women in Canada, and it's actually not new. It came out in February, but it's only coming out now in the public because the CBC got a hold of this report through an access to information request. But this report, yeah, it does paint kind of a grim picture of women in the workforce. So let's actually take a look at some of those numbers. Now, on the positive side, Canadian women actually have a really high labor participation rate at 68%. That's the fourth highest among OECD nations. Those are other nations that have sort of a developed industrialized economy like Canada. And it's higher than the OECD average, which is 59%. But on the negative side, we have a pretty wide pay gap between men and women in Canada, and it's quite a bit higher than the OECD average. So let's take a look at that board as well. So here we see that Canadian men are paid 20% more than women. The OECD average is 18%, and only Korea, Japan, and Germany have wider pay gaps. And the status of women, Canada report says that Canadian women have sort of hit a brick wall when it comes to the pay gap. And that's because it hasn't changed at all in about 5 years. There's been no kind of decrease of that pay gap. It remains wide. Now, this report also highlights some other areas outside of the workforce, things like the fact that Canada does not have a strategy for violence against women, that the Canadian government invests about 17% less in childcare and parental benefits, and that Canadian women have a much lower participation rate in politics and elected positions than many other countries. Steve?
All right, Jen, thank you very much. Jen St. Dennis from Business in Vancouver. See you tomorrow, Jen.